Do you want to do some game guff, Paul? Have you got a Zelda update for us?
I do have a Zelda update, Barry. Thank you for asking.
Zelda
update. I'm about 35 hours into Zelda now. Which is a lot.
You get a life. Huh?
Well, see, when I'm going for my life, Barry, just take the Switch with me, play it there as well.
Woo!
Woo! So I would estimate that I'm about a quarter through the game. So probably is going to take me the better part of 100 hours. Of the main quest, there obviously I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but there are like 4 main objectives, let's say, that you have to do. I've done only one of those. And of the 120 shrines in the game, I've done 40. So I'm exactly a third of the way through those. So maybe between a quarter and a third through the game. Super enjoying it, of course. That being said, the more I play it, there are little things that kind of not things that I can overlook because the game itself is so enjoyable. But there are definitely little things in there that kind of you notice and you go, maybe the way when they brought out Watch Dogs, for example, or when they brought out Horizon, which just came out. Horizon is maybe a better example because I know the first Watch Dogs wasn't super well received. But you're playing Horizon, for example, Barry.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's points in the game where you're loving it, but you kind of think Horizon 2 is going to be amazing when they kind of tweak things a little bit,
Absolutely.
That's kind of the feeling I have with Breath of the Wild a little bit. Like, I'm totally loving it. I can definitely see the 10 out of 10 score for them. I probably be between a 9 and a 10 myself. Well, but there are little things I see where I go, next time things will be even better. Like, there's 120 shrines in the game, and they're scattered all around the world. It used to be in Zelda games that when you go to, Death Mountain, you have your fire level. You go to Lake Hylia, you have your water level, Lost Woods, forest theme level, and so on. Now, I understand that a lot of people want to get away from that convention because just having, in the forest you have a forest level, in the water you have a water level. It's kind of samey, kind of a little bit uninspired.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
You have 120 shrines all across Hyrule in the game, and the design of them is identical. So you go to the fire region, let's say, and you do a shrine, and the shrine is exactly the same in terms of design as the shrine in the water level, and exactly the same as the shrine. So rather than having kind of different feeling dungeons per se, you kind of don't have that in this game. And that is something I miss about it, is the layout of the dungeons and the design of the dungeons specific to the area you're in. So that's kind of been taken away. Instead, you just have lots of mini dungeons, which are all indistinguishable from one another, apart from the actual puzzles. Things like the weapons, I would say. Like I don't. Again, these are just kind of very small things, but the fact that your weapons break eventually does kind of lessen the feeling of finding a really good item, because you're only going to have it for a little while.
Yeah.
And although for the reasons I was explaining before, I do like the idea of having your weapons break because it makes you kind of plan your attacks better. Like I said last week, I'm not going to waste such a good weapon on a weaker enemy. I'm going to save that for the stronger enemy. So it adds nearly a layer of strategy that Zelda never really has had. But that being said, you go through a dungeon and you find a chest, and the chest has some flame sword or something. Oh, that's cool. But you're only going to have that weapon for the next hour or two in the game, at which point it will break and then it's gone until you find another one. So I guess the feeling in old games of finding, in Ocarina of Time, you find the hook shot. That's a big thing. Oh, I have that now. I appreciate that the game is way more open, way more non-linear. But that being said, you don't get those moments of finding a new item and going, oh wow, now this opens up a whole new world of possibilities. It's pretty much at the start of the game.
Whole new world.
I was singing "Whole New World" karaoke yesterday, by the way.
Good.
Of course you were, mate.
Don't you dare close your eyes. But essentially, at the start of the game, everything was unlocked for you, and it's just like, go do whatever. So, I guess you don't necessarily feel like you're getting progressively stronger through the game. It's just you're at one level for the whole game. So the dungeons, I would prefer to see in Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, more varied dungeon designs.
Too breath, too wild.
The Breath and the Wild, Hyrule Drift.
The breath of the wild with a D.
Val Venus again? Oh, the sarcastic laugh. More varied dungeons. I would like to see a return, if not a dependence on specialized items for things, but while retaining the kind of openness of the world. The stamina meter, I can understand why it's there, but it does have a tendency to be more annoying than functional. Like when you're running or swimming or climbing, you do have the stamina meter. And one thing I would say as well, one mechanic that I really don't like in the game is when you're climbing a wall that you can't jump backwards, or at least I haven't figured out how to do it. You can't jump backwards from the wall and into a glide. So, for example, I see a cliff face in front of me, and there's a walkway going around the cliff face, but the walkway is about a meter off the cliff. So it's not like the walkway is directly touching the cliff. There's a space between the cliff and the walkway. The amount of time that I've climbed up past and tried to jump onto the walkway, and it's just not. I just keep falling down, or he jumps up the cliff. That's the one mechanic. Like the climbing works super well. That's the one mechanic that doesn't work. Is jumping off cliffs from a climbing position to a gliding position. That doesn't work. But yeah, apart from that, loving it. Like I say, I'm still very early. I'm 35 hours, as early as that can be. Natty just started playing it as well because my brother finished the game at 95 hours. He clocked in. So Natty took his Switch. So she's playing it on his Switch now. I'm playing it on mine. And she just started it tonight. So she's probably an hour in. But I think it's a game that she'll really enjoy. There's also, I don't even know if I said this last week, there's a mode in it where it's kind of like Pokemon Snap, where it's almost like a game within a game. You have a logbook in the game of every weapon, creature, food, and you have to take a photo of it and log it in your book. So I think I did say this last week in that it's like I was just saying to Natty before I unlocked this that I miss like collecting football stickers, like you know the Merlin Premier League album, that I miss having that. And then that day I unlocked this thing in Zelda where it's like, here's that thing you were exactly asking for. So I'm now walking around. Every time I find an item, I'm like putting it against the wall, trying to take a photo of it for my little album. And that adds another little depth to it. That like I'd happily play Zelda just as a photography sim, almost. So yeah, I'm loving it. I would highly recommend. I mean, I would love it as well if it was on PS4. If only so more people could play it. Of course, I love playing it on the Switch. I love the portability of it. But I do feel like you're missing out, Barry, and a lot more people I know who don't have a Switch can't play it, and they're missing out because it is a really great game.
Oh well, I feel the same way, and I'm sure lots of people do. You know, I would like to play it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. You know, Christmas. You know, we'll see.
Someday.
We'll see how the lineup shakes out.
Someday.
We'll see how that Mario comes along.
Mario.
I would very much. I would like to want a Switch, if you get me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still playing Horizon, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And you mentioned like the photography. I mean, non-stop, like stopping halfway through missions to take photos because the game has an inbuilt photo mode. It is one of the best looking games I've just ever played. It is gorgeous. So I can totally relate to that. And they should make another Pokemon Snap. That should be their next mobile thing. Nintendo's next mobile thing. Pokemon Snap on your phone. Like, I would download that.
Yeah, that'd be so good.
But yeah, I haven't been playing anything other than Horizon really. So I've talked about that at length already.
Mm-hmm.